Good morning. I'm spot on weather meteorologist Matthew Euler, and today we're going to take a look at the short range weather forecast for Southeast Virginia. We're going to begin with tomorrow, Friday the 23rd, and go all the way out through Monday the 26th. So this will cover your holiday weekend. All right, so what we're looking at this morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the satellite image, we do have an area of lower clouds that are along the coastline. Virginia Beach had mostly cloudy conditions this morning. Those clouds are now starting to move further offshore. We do have some breaks that are moving in, a few high clouds off to the west, some cirrus clouds, but overall we are going to have a mix of sun and clouds today, and it will be fairly mild, and we'll get to more detail on that here shortly, but we're expecting temperatures today to rise up to a high of 58 degrees. With southwesterly winds blowing at 5 to 10 miles per hour out ahead of the next cold front, which will be approaching from the west. A big difference from yesterday morning when we looked at these observations over here on the right. We have more of a south-southwest wind flow across southeast Virginia and North Carolina. Temperatures at 45 this morning as compared to 31 yesterday at Wakefield. Temperatures are 45 in Richmond, 42 further out west towards Suffolk area, and then 40 over on Chesapeake and 45 here in Virginia Beach. Temperatures actually rose overnight due to these southwest winds and the weaker warm air advection that occurred overnight. In fact, temperatures last night in the evening at 7 p.m. were around 38 degrees, and waking up this morning, the temperatures had risen up to 40 degrees and 41 degrees in a lot of locations really early around sunrise. All right, so let's take a look at the forecast now. Forecast valid tomorrow, Friday, 23 December. So what do we have going on? We have an area of high pressure that's situated at 1,034 millibar high, which is right overhead southeast Virginia. So what that's going to do is that's going to give us some really nice weather tomorrow. It will be cooler as we expect a cold front to move through. It's going to be a dry frontal passage, no rainfall or moisture associated with it. That's going to pass through the area early this evening. If you're traveling out of the southeast Virginia area, there is a little bit of snow and wintry weather over Iowa, southern Minnesota into Wisconsin. There's a 1,008 millibar low situated over western Kansas. On the warm side of the low, there are some rain showers that will be breaking out tomorrow from Texas, Oklahoma City, up into Missouri, southern Missouri. So if you're traveling out of area, I wanted to make sure and point those out if you're traveling out of the area for the holidays. Also, there's another storm system, 1,002 millibar low over Oregon, and you have a lot of rain and some mountain snow associated with it. And that low and this energy, by the way, will be developing a Christmas storm more towards the upper plains of the United States. But back to southeast Virginia for tomorrow. We're expecting high pressure overhead, as I mentioned. It's going to result in mostly sunny and cool conditions. High temperatures tomorrow in the upper 40s, and they will drop into the lower 40s overnight into Saturday morning. The clouds are going to increase during the evening, tomorrow evening. So for mostly sunny for most of the day tomorrow, then the clouds will start increasing from the west tomorrow evening and overnight tomorrow night ahead of the next approaching cold front and associated moisture. Looking at Christmas Eve, a very important day for a lot of folks. So Christmas Eve, kind of like what we mentioned yesterday on the short range video, we expected rain to move in for Christmas Eve across southeast Virginia, and that's exactly what's going to happen. We'll have some rainfall. Now this time frame here, this chart I'm showing you for the forecast is about 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Christmas Eve this Saturday. So the rain is going to be moving in by early afternoon as another cold front approaches. It's a weak cold front. It's coming in from the west. If you have travel plans elsewhere, there's a little bit of snow up into New Hampshire and Vermont and in Maine. And then there'll be 1,000 millibar low out over Utah that has basically moved from Oregon to Utah over a 24-hour period. A lot of snow into western Montana, the Bitterroot chain of Idaho, and the Rocky Mountain states. There'll be a little bit of rain shower activity into Southern California if you have travel plans there. But overall, for southeast Virginia on Christmas Eve, we expect a mostly dry morning with rain moving in by early afternoon out ahead of the next cold front. Not expecting heavy rain. Total amounts will be around 1/4 of an inch at most. And then the high temperatures on Christmas Eve will be mild, right in the lower 50s, really right where we should be for this time of year. Temperatures dropping into the lower 40s overnight into Christmas Day morning. And then the rain, we expect the rain to end definitely during the evening, late night hours on Christmas Eve. So all this moisture is going to push off Christmas Day. That weak front has cleared the coast. The moisture associated with it is well offshore. So we're expecting a dry, partly cloudy and mild Christmas Day for Southeast Virginia. High temperatures in the lower to middle 50s. And the temperatures will drop into the lower to middle 40s overnight into Monday morning. Elsewhere across the country, if you plan to travel or spend time Christmas Day, you probably will already be at where you're going to be at. We have a 989 millibar low, a deepening low now over central Nebraska. The warm side of this low could yield some showers and even some thunderstorms are possible over the southern plains. Rain moving all the way up into southern Minnesota, Iowa, southern Minnesota, southeastern South Dakota. If you want a white Christmas, you got to go to northern Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, into the Colorado Rockies. That's where your white Christmas will be. And this intensifying low pressure system could result in some blizzard-like conditions on the backside of this low and possible strong to severe, scattered severe thunderstorms in the southern plains actually for Christmas Day. So just wanted to put out a national perspective as well, since I know many of you may be out of the area on that day. And then forecast valid Monday, 26 December. We are going to start a very mild period at this point. We do have another frontal system out to the west with some rain. The low pressure system that was over central Nebraska at 989 millibars has now moved northeastward and is weakening slightly to 992 millibars. Still a lot of wind and snow over southeastern Canada. But for southeast Virginia, we're going to be in southwesterly wind flow at this time. So we expect some very mild conditions starting on Monday. Next week overall is still shaping to be a very mild week. Monday we expect partly cloudy conditions and even warmer temperatures. Southwest winds are blowing in the area. High temperatures next Monday in the lower 60s. And they're only going to drop into the lower middle 40s overnight into Tuesday morning. Again, the next cold front will be approaching from the west. I will have a long-range forecast video out here shortly, and we'll pick it up on Tuesday, the 27th of December, to kind of show you the progression of the weather systems from west to east. Here's the extended outlook in detail. Today, we're expecting a high of 58 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds. Tonight, we're going to drop down to 36. So we expect conditions to be mainly clear tonight and also mainly clear on most of the day on Friday. Temperatures drop 10 degrees from today to tomorrow behind the cold frontal passage, which happens early this evening. And then we do have a little bit of moisture trying to move in. This is especially closer towards Saturday morning. A few drops of rain, and then more steadier, lighter rain will move in by Christmas Eve day, the afternoon time frame on the 24th. High of 54, and then on temperatures drop to 42 degrees on Saturday night on Christmas Eve itself for Santa. Rain should end by late evening on Christmas Eve night, move offshore. And again, just another plug here. We do update the graphical forecast daily in Facebook and Twitter. So be sure to like us on Spot on Weather on Facebook, and then follow us on Twitter, and you will get these updates. We send out the link, and then you can see the graphical forecast for all your planning purposes. All right, that's all I've got for now from Spot on Weather. Again, I want to wish everybody a happy holiday season. And just remember, Spot on Weather, if we're not spot on, we're not doing it right. Have a great Thursday, everyone.